The International English Language Testing System, IELTS, is widely recognized as a reliable means of assessing the language ability of candidates who need to study or work where English is the language of communication. IELTS is jointly managed by the British Council, IDP, IELTS Australia and Cambridge University Press and Assessment. IELTS consists of 4 components. All candidates take the same listening and speaking tests. There is a choice of reading and writing tests according to whether a candidate is taking the academic or general training module. The academic module is for candidates wishing to study at undergraduate or postgraduate levels, and for those seeking professional registration. The general training module is for candidates wishing to migrate to an English-speaking country, for instance, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, and for those wishing to train or study below degree level. The test components are taken in the following order. The first component is listening test. This test consists of 4 parts, each with 10 questions. Which means a total of 40 questions, and approximately 30 minutes are allowed to complete the IELTS listening test. The listening test is followed by IELTS reading test. If you are taking the academic module, then you will be facing the academic reading test, which will have 3 sections, and 40 questions to be answered within 60 minutes on the clock. Not to mention, if you are taking the general training module, then you will be facing the general training reading test, which will also have 3 sections, and 40 questions to be answered within 60 allowed minutes. Moving on, the third component is the IELTS writing test. If you are taking the academic module, then you will be facing the academic writing test, which will have 2 tasks to be completed within 60 minutes on the clock. Not to mention, if you are taking the general training module, then you will be facing the general training writing test, which will also have 2 tasks to be completed within 60 allowed minutes. As said, this test consists of 2 tasks. It is suggested that candidates spend about 20 minutes on Task 1, which requires them to write at least 150 words, and 40 minutes on Task 2, which requires them to write at least 250 words. Task 2 contributes twice as much as Task 1 to the writing score. Finally, moving on to the last component, which is the IELTS speaking test. This test takes between 11 and 14 minutes and is conducted by a trained examiner. The total test time thus stands at 2 hours and 44 minutes. We will be discussing about all the components of IELTS test in detail in our later videos to get a broader overview.